My name is Scylla and today we're going to go back to another overdone topic, but I'm already doing basically everything. I just want to check everything off that list, make sure I get every topic down. I have my own reasons for doing it. I'll talk about them later on one day. So, how to survive Lolita in the heat. I already covered some things in the video that I did about whether Lolita as a whole was too uncomfortable to wear, but I want to go more in depth this time. If you're watching this, you may or may not know, I live in Southern California where it gets very, very hot. Not as hot as like Arizona or Texas or Australia or anything like that, but it gets pretty bad. Throughout the summer, it nears 100 degrees plus for an extended amount of time, and it's not fun. So in that case, what do you do? The thing about summertime is when it's that hot, I don't feel like wearing clothes at all. Normal clothes, I get angry that I have to wear them. I think it's okay that if it's really that hot, you don't have to feel obligated to wear all these dresses. You really don't. The most important thing is that you're comfortable. But if you know you just really have the desire to wear your dresses, in that case, let's move on. So step one of the most important things I would say is make sure that you have showered recently before putting on anything. Being clean in this case is very important. Very important. When it gets hot, it is very easy to feel icky and sweaty and greasy and just all kinds of ugh. And you don't want to feel like that. So shower beforehand. If you need to put on antiperspirant, go ahead. You know, I always use deodorant. Learn the difference between the two if you are having problems. Just stay fresh. Tip number 2 is be very careful of the undergarments that you are choosing to wear. Boob sweat is real, so if you have a bigger bust, I would suggest wearing a sports bra or something of a very thin fabric, nothing with heavy padding. There are actually undergarments that are created specifically to help moderate your temperature and keep you cool when it's too hot outside. So I would definitely look into that if you're interested. As for Lolita undergarments, I would highly suggest wearing, instead of bloomers, really thin cotton pajama shorts. As for petticoats, again, I showed mine in the video that I did. It was a hooped skirt and the outer layer was made of chiffon, so it was really helpful for really hot days. Because the petticoat is the staple that really makes Lolita what it is, I would highly suggest investing money, if you're not going to get a hoop skirt, then into a really high quality petticoat made of really good materials. Because if you have a cheaper one, say from like Leg Avenue, it's going to be itchy. You're going to immediately just start sweating. It's just not going to be comfortable. So I hear that Me Likes Tea has really good petticoats that, you know, keep Lolitas from getting too hot. I personally don't own one yet, but I'm planning on getting one. So we'll see how that goes. Now, if you are going to wear a one piece, I would suggest wearing one in a very thin cotton fabric. Something very light and airy and breathable. The only other alternative, I think, is to get one that has a lot of chiffon on it, but is also very light. The problem with chiffon is that I still feel that it's very easy to sweat, and it's such a nice material that you don't really want to be sweating into that, which is why personally I would prefer cotton. Definitely stay away from silk because that'll make you just start sweating all the ickiness out of you. If you are wearing a jumper skirt, make sure that it fits you properly. because if it's too tight, it's going to feel too constricting and you're going to feel even hotter than you would normally feel. The shirt that you wear underneath should definitely have short sleeves. It should be sheer ideally. And in some cases, like the one that I'm wearing now, it is more of a midriff shirt, because really whatever shirt you're wearing underneath the jumper skirt, it doesn't matter what the second half looks like because you're only going to be seeing the arms. This was actually really cheap and could be found on eBay. And if you live in a really hot area that has long summers, just exhausting heat, I would stock up on these. You can just keep throwing them in the wash and re-wearing them over and over again. There's also the option to skip a shirt altogether and wear a bolero, which is really, really cute. And again, if that bolero happens to be sheer, then that'll make it even more breathable and it'll look nice and it will cover your arms, so it is perfectly acceptable for Lolita. You can also choose to wear a peignoir instead. However, make sure that it matches the height of the dress that you're wearing. Otherwise, it'll look a little bit off. I think that's more a matter of personal opinion and preferences, but you may find that even wrist cuffs will make you sweaty in the hand area, which is not fun at all. Hands are not a very happy place to sweat from because it's the thing that you use the most. So in this case, I don't think that wrist cuffs or any kind of cloth wrist wear is necessary in Lolita. However, I would wear some kind of light bracelet, something that matches your cord, whatever style that you're wearing, pearls, just something, only because Lolita is all about balance and the clothes by default are not simple by any means. So it is very important to have a balanced look all around. You don't have to wear a whole bunch of bracelets on your arm, but I would suggest at least one, just something to add to it and give it a little more flavor. Otherwise, it'll stand out a little bit. On these days, I think it's perfectly fine to skip out your knee highs or OTKs for ankle socks instead. They can have ruffles on them, that's really cute, or you can even find stuff like this that I got at the dollar store or at Daiso if you're really cheap, in really cute colors that happen to match a lot of dresses. I wanted to show these ones in particular because, as you can see, it is sheer, so you are not sweating all over the place on your foot if you are wearing this. So I would definitely try looking around for little ankle socks wherever you can get them, because they definitely come in handy, and socks are like shirts. They get dirty very easily. You're wearing them, it's touching your body, you know, it's picking up that sweat, it's picking up any dirt. It's just good to always have a bunch lying around. If summer where you are is very long and excessively hot, I think it's a really good time to start learning how to style your own hair. I think whatever length it is, it can still look okay with Lolita as long as it's done right. If you don't have time to fix your hair and a wig is the only option for you, definitely invest in some shorter ones so that you're not dying. You can also get little clip-on bangs separately, along with buns and separate twin tail clips, so that it gives the illusion of what a wig would do to you, but you don't have to worry about sweating through the wig cap and being all stuffy in there. If you can find a sun hat that matches your cord, that is really awesome and very convenient. If not, I would suggest just finding a normal looking sun hat and DIYing it, making it match a number of dresses that you have, just so that it gives you another option to protect you from the sun. Otherwise, use a parasol because they are cute and they were created for this very reason. I would try to avoid putting on any heavy makeup on these days. If you do have a lot of makeup, make sure you use setting spray for it. Otherwise, by the time you get home, you're gonna look in the mirror and notice that for some reason your face is not centered, it's all the way over here. And it's like, how did that happen? Something that I brought up in another old video I did is having a little spritzer bottle of water to spray on your neck or your arm right here, and also having a little handheld fan that will match your cord. When you put air on wet things, it helps cool it down, which would be very helpful in cases like this. And yeah, so before I end this video, there are still 4 last tips that I want to give just to think about for after you are out and about on your way. So let's say that you're dressed totally down and you're really cool, but you're spending most of your time indoors in an air-conditioned place. It's gonna get really cold really quickly. So if you know that you're like going to a movie or something like that, I would definitely bring a cardigan or a sweater of some sort that matches, just to be safe. Also, I'm sure you probably know this, but depending on the color that you're wearing, if you're wearing black, that is going to make you extra hot. Whereas if you're wearing brighter colors and like white and stuff, that'll help reflect the sun's light. So basically you're kind of bouncing off any extra heat rather than soaking it up. So if you are classic, sweet, and goth, I would highly suggest not wearing goth on these specific days that are too hot. If you are a goth 24/7, then I have no idea how you do it. Please tell me how you do it, because I do not understand. Another one is I would avoid eating spicy foods while going out on these days, because spiciness makes you sweat. That's what it does. No Indian food on these days, no super spicy Asian foods. And finally, last tip, avoid drinking coffee also on these days, because caffeine helps stimulate the glands that produce sweat in your palms and your feet and your underarms, especially these areas. So if it's caffeine-free tea and stuff, that's okay. But if you're in a cool place and you're drinking, you know, these things with your gals, and you're wondering, why are you sweating all of a sudden when the air conditioner is on? That's probably why. But yeah, that's all I have for now. Hopefully I didn't leave anything out. I know at this point making these videos are a little bit pointless, but again, I have my own reasons for doing them. I think they're really fun also. So yeah, that's all. I'll see you next time. Bye!